Greetings in the name of the King. I want to welcome you to Kingdom Cultural Center. And today it was really challenging. I want to talk about information and how to guard yourself from certain information. In reality, though, I want to read you something. I'd rather read it to you than just quote it. So turn to Hosea. And I think it's the 4th chapter and the 6th verse, mind you. I want you to follow me as I read, because I want you to know this is very important where I'm fixing to go with this. 6th chapter of Hosea. And the 4th chapter, of Hosea, and the 6th verse. And the reason why I want to go through here, because I want you to understand this key element called information. And follow me as I read. Now, this is Jesus. This is God, the King, speaking through Hosea. I want you to follow this. He says, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I also will reject you from being priests for me." That word priest can be interpreted as representative. And knowledge is very important. But now, the type of knowledge that he's talking about is the knowledge of him. And today I got some information from one of my emails from Kingdom Citizens, and it made me think the importance of knowledge. Now, I want to say this to inform you of this. Religion is exactly what it is. It's a deterrent from the kingdom. And being that religion have been so infiltrated into this world society, they use God's principles to establish their foundation. Now, it's all right to use God's principles, but they're God's principles. It's the foundation for life. Religion and religious people are a hindrance. You're not to hate them. You are to pray for them. Now, keep in mind, Jesus said, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. I also will reject you for being my priest for me, because you have forgotten the law of your God." God's law is essential. God's law is important. And I want you to understand something. Ever since the time that Adam was disobedient to God's word, to God's law, to God's command in the garden, we have been having a big challenge concerning God's word. Now, religion have made God's word complicated. Religions have made the kingdom complicated. Well, I'm going to simplify it with one word: obedience. That is what it's all about. It's not about doctrine. It's not about theology. It's about obeying God's word. Now, I use the Old Testament the prophet Hosea for this one reason. Because God makes it very plain. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And that stays in today's society. Trust me when I tell you this. People go to church on Sunday and they don't get anything but a good feeling in the majority of the churches. And many of them think they get a revelation because of what's being said, but they're not taught the kingdom message. I don't care what goes on. They're not taught the kingdom message. Now, Jesus was consistent with the word. He was consistent. He stayed on course. The kingdom, when the devil and the enemy met him in the wilderness, he stayed on course. He didn't deviate from that. So if he stayed on course, what's our problem? He stayed focused on the message that his father gave him. And every time the devil approached him at his weakness in his physical body, he always came back with the word, not his ideology, not his opinion, but with the word. And I've seen so many times religions come back with their tradition. Let's get on the subject now of information. So much information is going around in this world, from social media, all around information. But it is information that's eternal information. You see, what we fail to realize is that God's word is eternal. It's not going to change. The message isn't going to change. It's the same message. The kingdom. Seek first the kingdom. We pick things out of it like leadership when we want to teach them. Purpose, change. It all boils down to one thing, the kingdom. Seek first. You want to know where your purpose is in society? Seek your creator. Seek first the kingdom. Seek first. You want to know where you stand and what's going to happen and where you fit in this world society and what's your purpose in living here and being here? Seek first the kingdom. And he made it very, very clear. Through that, may I add to you, anytime you want to know concerning something, what's the intent? Always go back to the beginning. Always go back to the beginning. If you want to know something, if you want to know what was the purpose, go back to the beginning. Listen, I'm going to read some things to you. Jesus always quoted the beginning. And this is going to really affect some people, but don't sweat the small stuff. I'm here not giving you my opinion, but the kingdom message. And some things are not going to be liked upon or approved upon. Listen. When Jesus spoke about man and wife, Jesus always went back. Husband and wife, he always went back to the beginning. Because from the beginning, it was not so. From the beginning, he always went back from the beginning. Now, I'm going to continue this on in the next session. But I want you to keep that in mind. Whenever you want to know the origin of something or the meaning of something, always go back to the beginning. Until next time, we're going to talk about this.